Hey, I'm Bob and I like to make stuff. Today we're going to make a new rolling cart for my model working supplies. About a year ago, I made this cart specifically for all of my leatherworking tools. I really wanted to have one place with all of the tools that I might need for any given project in one place that I could easily roll around when I wanted to make something with it. Well, this thing has worked out super well, and I've been meaning to make more of these carts for other specific needs. I just haven't gotten around to it. Well, today we're finally going to jump in and make another one of these that's similar, but it's going to be specifically made for all of my model making stuff. So we're going to hold the airbrush compressor and all the airbrush tools, all of the paints, and some other adhesives and things that are going to go with it. So the first step here is to make the main cabinet for this. Now it's going to be really similar to this one, so if you saw this video, it'll look familiar, and if you didn't, make sure to go back to watch this one for all the details. Let me put this together and then we'll talk about what's next. I've got this thing mostly put together and it's basically identical to the first one that I showed you. There are a couple of small differences. One, I didn't have the solid wood veneer to add to this, so I just used some glue-on veneer. It's not going to be quite as strong over time, but honestly it just will help me get this thing done, and it looks generally the same. The other big difference is that this one is taller. For no particular reason, I just realized that I didn't have to keep it the same height as the other one, and by making it taller, it's actually a better height to work at. The other big difference is that I cut a dado right here, and that's for another work surface to be able to slide through here and be able to come out both sides, just like the drawers do, and the drawers will on this one as well. So I've just got to cut out this veneer here, and then I can make that piece to slide in and out. I'm also putting this thing together out of scraps, just whatever I can find. So I've got kind of mixed matched pieces of plywood for all this, including a piece of walnut. This is actually the smallest piece I had that would fit this. So I cut this down and it's going to fit right in those dados, and it's going to slide through, and it'll come out the backside as well. I made the dado just a little bit thicker than 3/4 of an inch so that it had a little bit of play, and I might have done a little bit too much. I want this to be able to pull out not quite all the way and still be caught in the dado. And that works, but there's a little bit more give in there than I would like. So in the future, if I were to do this again, I would make sure that that dado is just a little bit over the thickness of the material. I decided to go ahead and put some edge banding on this piece as well, but instead of doing the walnut, because the grain was already going to be going the wrong direction, I just did birch. So that way this piece is the opposite of everything else. It's all kind of scraps, so it doesn't really matter. Also wanted to point out that I didn't really go over the edge banding because I do it in a lot of different videos. If you want to learn more about the process and why it's useful, we have a bits video all about it. This thing is pretty much done, needs some sanding finish. I still have to make the drawers to slide into these areas, but basically this is pretty much like the other one. I do want to do a few custom things to this particular version though, and one of them is to make custom holders for paints. As I've started doing more models, I've accumulated more little bottles of paint, and they come in a few different sizes. So I want to hop into Fusion and Illustrator and create some custom holders for all of these different little bottles. I want to make sure that they can fit in this area as well. So I'm thinking actually take this area, split it into two, and make two trays that will fit in and take up the entire depth of the cabinet. That way, if I don't need to take all of them out at one time, I can just take half of it with a particular type of paint. All right, let's go model that up and we'll cut it out on the laser. This video is sponsored by KiwiCo, and I'm really excited about that because we've been using KiwiCo products in our house for a really long time. Several years back, one of my kids got one of these boxes as a gift, and since then, all of my kids have gotten them every single month. KiwiCo creates these boxes with a project inside, all of the supplies that you need to make that project, and an awesome set of instructions. They're always focused around technology, engineering, math, science, art, and there's something for every age group, all the way from small kids all the way up through adults. With the upcoming school year being really different for everybody, I know that at least my kids are going to be spending a lot more time in front of a screen. The KiwiCo boxes are going to be really important there because it's a way to get them away from the screen to take a break, but also keep them engaged and learning something new. Having a hands-on activity like this is going to be really important for them as they navigate all these new things. KiwiCo does have a subscription for each one of these boxes, but you can also just buy an individual box based on the topic. If you go to KiwiCo's store, you can actually browse by topic or by product line, and find something that works for you or your kid. And once you've found something really awesome there that you're interested in, if you go to kiwico.com/makestuff, you're going to get 20% off everything on the site. KiwiCo is a really fantastic company, and they're focused on getting kids to be makers by giving them something hands-on that they can do to encourage them to learn more. We're really happy that they are part of the learning that our kids get to do, and I definitely think you should go check them out. Again, go to kiwico.com/makestuff. You're going to get 20% off everything on the site. They are awesome. Thanks again, KiwiCo. I got all these pieces very quickly cut out on the laser, and I did want to point something out. Obviously, you don't have to have a laser to do a project like this. I like to think of the laser as kind of a digital scroll saw. Most anything that you could do on a scroll saw can be done on a laser and vice versa. All of these holes could be cut by hand or with a Forstner bit, and you'd end up with almost the exact same output. But the big advantage of having a laser, in my opinion, is doing detail work. It's adding in score lines or engraving that is much harder to do, although if you've got a steady hand and a Dremel, that might be an option. It's just something to think about because a lot of people don't have access to a laser, and I totally understand that, but at the same time, there are lasers in a lot of maker spaces and even local libraries. So asking around, see if you can find one that you can have access to, and if not, all of this stuff can be done by hand. A lot of the bottles for paints are kind of a standard size, so I've made some of these to fit the standard bottles. So all of these bigger bottles can fit into these, all of the small bottles can fit into these, and then there's a few things that are a little bit odd. And so I made a big open section here so I can drop in bottles that are kind of one of a kind or odd shaped. The frames for these are just going to be butt jointed together with some CA glue, and then I'll put on the top and the bottom with CA glue as well. These aren't going to carry any weight, they don't really need to be particularly strong, and you're going to lift them from underneath, so this should work out pretty well. I've got the cart on wheels, it spins around and the drawers in and all that stuff, and my paint trays are done. These just need a coat of finish, and I'll put that on in a little bit, but first, let's make sure that these things fit. Now you can see why I put so much space in this section. For certain bottles, like the CA glue, they're really tall, and there's going to be some other spray bottles that'll fit in here that are also a little bit tall. Anything taller than that's going to have to either go in the drawer below or in the big open spaces down on the bottom. Those are really for tall cans of things like thinner and barge, stuff like that. So next up, we have some accessories that I want to mount on the side so that we can use them while we're working on models. I've got two things that I want to mount to the top of this, and then those will have to go to a power strip mounted somewhere. I'm not really sure where yet. The two things are a light. This is kind of a desk lamp, but it has an LED ring light around a magnifying glass, so that'll be handy for small detail work. This came with a really heavy-duty clamp, but the orientation is wrong on this. There's no good way to hook this to the top. So I think what I'm going to do here is actually drill a hole in the top and then just stick it down in there. We'll work on that in just a minute. The other thing I want to put on here is a flexible shaft grinder. This is a little clunky to hold, but it's kind of like a smaller hand piece for a Dremel, and then the motor is this big chunky piece that is hung from something, and then it also has a pedal so you can control the speed. So basically I want to hold the motor part somewhere right in here so that I've got the most length for the hand piece so I can get it to whatever I'm working on, and this puts it close enough to the ground that the pedal will actually lay on the ground correctly. So I need to have some sort of a mount that comes off the side to hold the motor in the right place so that this stuff touches the ground when I want it to, but it's not dragging the rest of the time. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to hang these. This one has a good attachment point for swiveling, so that's easy enough. I just need to make something to come out for that to sit on. But I want to take advantage of the shape of these so that they sit down in something and I don't have to kind of fight. I want to let gravity hold them in place. For this one specifically, I can take advantage of this shape and actually make something that it slides down in and gets locked into so that it will sit like this on the side. This one is really close to being uniform, so this one's going to be a little bit harder, but I think if I make something tight enough here, this piece will just kind of sit down in it. I'm figuring this out on the fly, but I think I have an idea. If you add up the thickness of the padding and the plastic base, it's a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch. I have this piece of walnut, which is a little bit thicker than that, and so I think what I can do is cut a piece that will fit right there within that gap, and then cut another piece that will sit in front of it and capture it on the front. So theoretically, you'll have a little sleeve on each one of these angled sides, and this piece will just drop down in it and not be able to fall off forward. Let me cut these down and we'll see if it works. Catches right in there. That was easy enough. Now we got to move on to this one. The angle for the grinder is actually kind of heavy, so rather than making a really thin piece of wood and hoping that it will hold, I'm going to use metal. This is a piece of steel bar that I had, and it's actually bent from a previous project. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments because I would be interested to see if you can pick it up. But anyway, I'm going to cut this off about right here and then put a little hook right here for that to sit into. You can still lift it off, but I want to have a little divot right there for that to rest down inside. Alright, it's nothing fancy, but it does have a little hook here, so when that thing sits over it, it should rest back in here. Now I'm going to drill a hole in the wood so that this part can actually just slide down into it. That bit wouldn't allow me to drill the hole too deeply, so I ended up cutting this post off just a little bit. So now it sits down in here, and I intentionally made that hole a little bit big so that this piece can pivot. So when the motor's hanging on this, as I'm using the handpiece, it has some freedom to be able to move back and forth. Plus, if I ever take it off, I can swing this out of the way and it's not sticking out to grab somebody's pocket. I was about to finish this thing out by putting some edge banding on the outside of it just to make it match everything else, and then mount this to the side of the cart. Then I realized that I still have to drill a hole for the lamp, and I may as well do that just like I did for the little post. I can do it in the top of this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put the edge banding on here and then drill a hole so that I can mount the lamp right here on the corner. Alright, in testing this out, I found that this motor actually has so much torque when you take it up to speed that it wants to pull itself off of this little peg. So this end would need to be a little more upright so it couldn't swing itself off, but in the meantime, I'm going to take some metal wire and wrap it around there to try to lock these two pieces together just to stop that from happening. And after that, I think this thing's done. So here it is, the finished cart. Now I know that this is based on a video that I did before. The cart itself is pretty similar, but there are some changes that I made in this video that I'm actually really happy with. The first one is the height. This is actually a really nice height. I could work on something right here and it would work out just fine. It wouldn't hurt my back, it wouldn't feel like I was bending over. This is a really good height for the entire thing. And honestly, there's no particular reason that the other one was shorter, so in the future, they're probably all gonna be this tall. One of the other things I really like is the fact that this panel comes out and creates a little bit more workspace in case I need to. I do think I made the dados a little bit too tall for this, and I need to add some wax on the inside to make sure that this thing can move freely, but I really like the idea of being able to pull out a little extra space. And the last thing that's really sticking out to me that I really like about this one is the fact that all of this stuff is attached to a panel that's screwed onto the outside. That way, if I ever need to move these tools to a different cart or to a different surface, 2 screws will take this whole thing off and I can just put it somewhere else. And I am pretty excited that I actually have this entire side that I can still add more tools to in case I need to. But the big point of this one was to take a bunch of stuff that's kind of all over the place in the shop and put it in one container so that I can move it around and take it to the job that I want to work on. I hope that this project gave you an idea, something similar that maybe you can customize in your space to make your work faster and more fun. And if it did, I would love to hear about it, so let me know down in the comments. We've got tons of other types of projects of all different types that you may want to check out, and if you're not subscribed, be sure to do that as well. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as we upload. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Later, but first, let's make sure that these things fit where I expect them to go. Where? All right. Hey, I'm Bob and I like to make stuff. Today we're gonna an LED ring light around a magnifying handy for doing small thingies. I should just do the whole thing like this.